everyone, it's Maria, and today I'm going to be doing some homeschool talk. So if you are just on my channel for my books, you might want to hit a different video for right now. I will be doing an update on what I've been reading, which is really good, but I want to do some homeschool videos for a little bit because it's not time of year for that. So I will go ahead and jump right in. For those of you who are new to my channel or don't remember, we have he's going into 5th grade. He's almost 11. And then we have almost 9-year-old who is 3rd, 4th grade. And then we have a 4.5-year-old who's pretty sure that she's 30, but she will be doing kindergarten work this year. So I have been doing homeschool since the beginning. It's becoming more and more comfortable. I don't stress out as much about planning out every single week because that doesn't work. It does not work. I've been that person who has torn all of the worksheets out and put them in file folders for each week. It was a nice idea. It was just not going to work out for me or our family. That's okay. But this year I'm excited because we have a few changes coming up with one of my friends, older girls, is going to be joining our language arts lessons, and then I also will be watching a 3-year-old for one of my other friends, so she'll be doing kind of preschool kindergarten stuff with my youngest. We have a little bit of changes with that, as well as some specific book club things that I'm excited about. So I will go ahead and jump right in. If you hear weird noises, I'm out in our sunroom, which also serves as our schoolroom, and it's hot, and so the tin roof kind of does weird wonky things. Hopefully it won't be too annoying. So to keep this short, I will go ahead and just share with you the overall, how I do the overview for the whole year. So the first thing I wanted to share with you, and I will try and remember to put links in the description of these things. The first thing I found was a book called Plan Your Year by Pam Barnhill. It's actually on loan out right now to one of my friends, so I can't show it to you. But one of the things that she suggests doing in there is writing out why you homeschool, what you're hoping to achieve with homeschool, and how you hope to get there with action steps. So I have kind of a 1.5-page document with various things in here, like I want them to feel confident creating projects, building experiments on their own, confident enough to do camping and hiking, basic first aid, cooking, baking, using power tools, measuring well, understanding directions. I want them to understand math and science as the universe's language and be able to converse in it, as well as to be able to recite favorite poems and quotes, to be ultimately curious and recognize failure as necessary parts of growth. I want them to know that the purpose of life is not self-serving, but to leave the world better than when you found it, and to find a home as a calm, open, welcoming place, as a recharging station with tools to rest and restore inspiration, whether it's on the couch cuddling, playing a game, throwing a dinner party, creating in the sunroom or garage, or watching nature in the backyard. So that's kind of my vision, and then I have some action steps for what I want to do to get there. I think for me personally, consistency is not my strong suit. And so my boys, I think, are both at the point where they need more specific guidelines set out for them. I got them agenda books this year so we can kind of work through each week what they're planning on doing, so they know what to expect, because they get very frustrated when they don't know when the end of the day is or what they have left to do. And sometimes I tell them, a lot of times I tell them, but then they don't remember, and so then they get frustrated because I didn't tell them, but I did. So I think just having that written record that they can go through and check off will be really helpful for us. So that's kind of the overall vision of what I want the feeling of our school to be. We will have a question, I haven't decided if it's going to be a question notebook for each kid or a question board where everybody can put questions up on it. Because we're in the sunroom and it's mostly windows and not wall, I don't know if a question board will work. That's why I think I might do a notebook. But I'm trying to really encourage the mentality that questioning and failing and trying is what's important, not necessarily doing perfect work. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I did was I went through, and Mary Hannah Wilson has a blog who used to be Not Before 7, but she just changed it. And if you sign up for her newsletter, she will actually send you the links for these. It's called I think, home and school interview questions. They're questions about home life and school life, and I just went through and asked all three of my kids. Some of these are just list words that describe our home, best parts of our family, what's the most difficult part, how do I feel loved, what treats are important to you, what do you wish we did more of in our school, what are you excited about studying, those kinds of things. And I just kind of asked them all these questions and tried to figure out if there's something that I needed to tweak or add in because of what they wanted to focus on and what they were excited about. I had some very fun moments where my oldest said, I really wish we did less mindfulness work and calming exercises. And I said, is that because it's difficult for you? He said, yeah, it's because I'm always thinking about things, and maybe that means that I need more mindfulness. So he's actually more self-aware than I thought. So that was kind of funny. The other two things that I wanted to kind of show you, I have a course of study where I put the different subjects on one side, and I just did a simple chart. And then I had each of my kids as well as different resources that could use that I could use for the courses of study. So whether they're games, which I will do another video on, I'm really excited about it, or if they're picture books, documentaries, projects, things that I already knew were on my shelf, I went through and wrote those in so that I felt like, oh, I've already got a lot. And really, honestly, this is our, I don't know, 7th year doing it, 6th, I don't know. I should probably look at that sometime. We already have a lot of sub material. So I bought a microscope, I bought a few games, and I did buy a Rooted in Language curriculum as well as the Arrow subscriptions with Brave Writer, and a big roll of paper and a couple new notebooks. I really did not purchase a lot of other things because some of it I already had or we hadn't gotten to finish yet. So I was pretty excited about that. Then I get a little bit more in detail. So I have the month, then the main subjects that we're going to be doing, and then in here is where I would write down a game that I would need, or a specific book that we're going to do for book club, subjects that we're going to work on. So here, like month for August, I have for science, we're going to be doing cells, DNA, evolution, genetics, cell models, taxonomy, and then I put in different games that I know working with that, whether evolution, pandemic games, cytosis, the DK books, I know my kids are really into. And then they have been really into tardigrades, the microscopic organisms that are actually really cool. And so I added those kinds of things in there for science to do some microscope work, because we're going to be doing more microbiology and bacteria the first month or two. Then it goes to the book, Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim is the Arrow selection for Brave Writer. So I have that in there. We'll also be doing the Alien Bug Bundle from Rooted in Language. So I put that there. History, we're starting back again with the ancients. It's our second time through, but my boys were little when we did the first time through. So now we get to really get into some of the more deep stuff. And so the first month I'm going to be talking about how we find out about history, what sorts of science tools or questioning tools do historians and biologists and archaeologists use to kind of create these narratives and find these facts out, as well as talking about the Stone Age and some evolution stuff. So that'll kind of tie in a little bit with science. Writing, we will be working on attention getters and kind of how you grab somebody's attention when you're writing. We'll be doing some fun games with that. So you can kind of see as I go through, and I didn't put all of the subjects up there, Latin, Spanish, there are a couple other like life skills I didn't put on here. I have those in a different planner, but this is just for me to stay focused on what big ones we're doing. And then the last thing I did, other than get kind of our notebooks and things ready, was to make a list of extras, kind of a menu, I suppose, of fun things that if we are needing some extra work on something or we need a break, these are things in different categories that I can choose. Math, we have some games, patterns, graphs, card war, play with money, measurements, area puzzles, do a math art project, chess. Math Prodigy. And then we've got language, bananagrams, story starters, magnetic poetry, poetry tea time, Scrabble, even sentence game, writing letters to people, blackout poetry, wordsmith dictionary, bug work, 365 wonder quotes, essay getters, those kinds of things. History, geography, and civics. I'm going to be using the free Google curriculum called Be Internet Awesome, so I have that on there. Ticket to Ride, Geography Games, Letters from Afar, and Yesteryear Gazette, which I will talk about in a different video. Pages on topics. My eldest is very into drawing, so he's going to be doing a timeline this year, but he's doing index cards, like artist trading card of each event, and then he's going to kind of make a game similar to timeline in there. Puzzles, National Geographic map work, documentaries. Science, I have microscope experiments, animal study, zoo documentaries, programming, one-pagers, nature hike, and a nature journaling class that I purchased from Alyssa Burke, which is an artist that I like. So you can kind of see if you make this for yourself ahead of time, so that when you get stuck and you're feeling like, oh, I think we need to hold off on something, or we have a little bit of extra time, how can I fill it well? You already have sort of a list going that would complement what you're already doing. So that is sort of how I plan loosely at the beginning of the year our homeschool. Take an assessment of what you already have. Look at the library before you purchase anything, because half the time they have books that you can borrow for a month or even more if you renew them, and you don't have to purchase a lot of things. So those are the things, and you can even make a little note for yourself, like check this out from the library or reserve this on this week, so that it's all ready for you to go if you know what month you'll need it in. So that is all I have for you on planning. My next video, I think I will show you some of what we will be actually studying this year. I will talk to you all later. If you have questions about anything I said, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I will talk your ear off and hopefully answer any questions you have. Bye.